have come to rectify. Letter 1. I, the Christ, take this opportunity to speak directly to you. I have come to rectify the misinterpretations placed on the teachings given when known as Jesus in Palestine 2,000 years ago.
Okay. Doing a video here introducing y'all to what is called the Christ's letters. There are 9 letters in the Christ letters, 1 through 9. 1 is kind of the introduction to what the Christ letters are, pretty much specifically telling you how the Christ letters came about. Right now I got it on letter 1. I'm going to allow you to hear some of it, and as you hear it, I'm going to explain a little more in detail if you don't understand, almost like a narration of the Christ letters. But I am going to allow you to hear. I'm going to pause. I'm going to let you know what's going on or what we just was listening to, and we'll go on to there. Any comments or suggestions, any feedback at all, comment below. If you like what you're hearing, please like and subscribe. And like I said, we're going to just hear the letters, and I'll come from time to time, pause the letters, and let you know what I hear, and paraphrase maybe what was being said so that you can further understand.
They are being put through one who, during the past 40 years, has been spiritually sensitive and dedicated enough to receive my words and act on them. These letters are truth. They transcend all religious doctrines in the world. These letters will liberate you. They are for all people who are searching for meaning to existence, purpose in their lives, strength to face the daily struggle to live and endure hardship, sickness, despair, and inspiration for those who aspire to greater spiritual awareness in their daily lives. You might say that these letters are a master's course for those who are ready to put foot to the path which I traveled when on earth in Palestine. You may doubt that the above words are true. As you read these words and go into the facts I am giving you concerning existence and the origins of personality, you will realize that this truth could have only come from the highest source. Those who have difficulty in understanding the letters should read them a page at a time, then put them aside and meditate. Gradually, the meaning will seep into your consciousness, for these pages are a link between your consciousness and my transcendent consciousness. Come to the letters with a mind as free of ideas and beliefs and prejudice as a very little child before it is indoctrinated with human belief. Bring me your unclouded mind, a seeking mind, and I will fill it with true treasure, the treasure of highest knowledge, which, as you absorb it, will lighten your daily load and lead you into green pastures of brightest light, signifying abundance, joy, rapture, and fulfillment of every need.
So, pretty much, he's explaining what the letters are right now. He's telling you to free your mind of what your beliefs are now, of what the Bible may have told you to believe, or what other religions, or even new groups of believers and beliefs are trying to seep into your mind. I mean, this is not only geared toward Christians, but it's geared toward Buddhists, Muslims, conscious thought people, positive thinking people, any religion, Hare Krishna, things of that nature. And it's trying to get everyone into this world belief. It's not a religion. It's actually supposed to be a belief. And this is supposed to be truth spoken by Christ. Words from Christ directly. So it's going to explain how his words came to be on these letters.
You will come to know how it feels to be abundantly blessed with all that exists beyond your present human comprehension. These letters are sent to all people throughout the world with my compassion and love. As you read them, you will feel the love and the compassion, and will come to realize that your daily struggles with existence were never intended for you. There is no need for you to experience pain and stress when you understand, absorb, and practice the truth of existence consistently.
So this is the Christ letters for the next
These letters
on YouTube.
They are intended to bring enlightenment to the world generally, to enable consciousness during the next 2,000 years. These letters are the seed of the future spiritual evolution. These letters are sent to all throughout the world with my compassion and love. As you read them, you will feel the love and the compassion, and will come to realize that your daily struggles with existence were never intended for you. There is no need for you to experience pain and stress when you understand, absorb, and practice the truth of existence consistently. The purpose behind these letters. They are intended to bring enlightenment to the world generally, to enable humanity to construct a new consciousness during the next 2,000 years. These letters are the seed of the future spiritual evolution of mankind. Note well, it is the spiritual evolution of the human consciousness that brings about the mental and physical evolution in your personal and global lives, and brings humanity into ever more harmonious states of well-being. If you find this hard to believe, reflect on the past 2,000 years and see what has been accomplished since I last spoke to people in person. There has been a gradual evolutionary trend toward brotherly love I constantly preach to the Jews. When I walked the earth, there were no such humanitarian organizations as you have now. Ambition, greed, self-gratification were regarded as normal behavior. There was little brotherly love even amongst the Jews, whose prophets for generations had exhorted them to love their neighbors as themselves. As humanity has developed its capacity for brotherly love, so has humanity made life more pleasant and comfortable for itself, in the form of mutual consideration, courtesy, kindness, and in the provision of hospital, child welfare societies, care of the aged, human rights movements, and many other institutions devoted to the improvement of the human condition.
So, pretty much it's saying, Christ is saying, see, in order to pretty much believe in these letters, you have to believe in your heart, your mind, your soul, in everything while you're reading them. And as you reread them and rehear them, or however you want to do them, if you want to write them down and to memorize them, however you're doing it, it's supposed to be Jesus speaking through these letters, through someone else, to us. So all of the words you hear are actually Jesus's words speaking to us about what really happened in his lifetime. Because in the letters it's stating that his words were kind of lost in translation from him to his disciples and down from his disciples to paper, or whoever wrote his words in the Holy Bible. So he's stating that all of the writings are not accurate. And so the belief of the Jesus in the Bible is inaccurate, and it's urgent for him to come so that he can clear his name and his legacy. Not only his legacy, but also save us, like he tried to do the first time. But he also stating that within the letters, he cannot come back in physical form, so he's to come consciously through someone that can receive him fully in order for them to write everything he's saying to them. So the person that wrote these letters, through the letters, I believe it's a woman that kind of got mentally pure enough to receive his communication. He also states that he had to go down to lower vibrations of consciousness in order to speak and remember his life on earth and speak to this woman who is still alive. I don't know if she's alive now, but these letters were written, I believe, back in 2001 or 2. So these letters been around for a little minute. I'm just trying to express the fact that I'm starting to really see the difference these letters are making in my life. And I actually believe that Christ could come back and speak to us like this. Because if you believe that other prophets or scholars or what have you, people inspired by God wrote the Bible, then why can't is it so hard to believe that Jesus could come back and inspire these books written by his words through men? See, so if you're gonna not believe that, then you can't believe the Bible either, because this is the same concept of the Bible and the words in the Bible that were written. They were supposed to have been inspired by a higher power. So this is what I wanted to clarify what the Jesus letters is stating, and also the words he just stated is that you can come into supreme happiness and love if you just follow his guidelines in these letters. So let me continue. I hope that you can hear the letters words. If not, I will try to put an audio clip in this when I'm done recording.
All these have been born in the hearts and minds of those who sincerely heeded my original words spoken in Palestine, urging people toward brotherly love and compassion for their fellow man. This form of spiritual caring and brotherly love gained tremendous impetus in the 19th century when my words were preached with renewed sincerity and intensity from pulpits and gladly received by earnest and sincere congregation. Preachers and congregations were, by that time, spread worldwide on every continent. The Sabbath was truly regarded as a day of rest, and the majority of Christian people were lifted to the contemplation of the power of God. Such a worldwide cessation from normal duties and occupation meant that a 24-hour-long elevation of conscious thought of the divine creative power created a regular and powerful human/divine consciousness underpinning and interthreading human lives. Human petition drew the power of the divine into the human consciousness and human experience and led directly to growth and expansion in every facet of human life. However, people did not yet know how to mentally direct divine power into spiritual rather than ego channels of creativity. Consequently, the expansion of collective consciousness brought evil results, arriving out of the ego power as well as the good results produced by the spiritual consciousness of inspired and enlightened people. Note well, for this reason I have come expressly to explain to you a vitally important fact of existence. Please read carefully. It is this. Your personal consciousness is entirely responsible for whatever comes into your life and personal experience. It is your personal consciousness which brings you good or evil. In your subconscious, you bring through strongly imprinted but hidden recollections of past traumas, emotions, of past life or lives, which can erupt and color your present consciousness. Your specific and impassioned prayer for alleviation of some kind may be answered, but it will avail you little in the long term if your mind and heart continually operate in contravention of the human laws of love, and you live in a mindset of constant criticism. Universal laws of existence relate only to activities of consciousness and are exact and undeviating. They are not rewards or punishment from God. I repeat, are not punishment from God. They relate to the causative factor of consciousness, which attract/magnetize electrical particles that thus bond together and appear to the world as outer visible solid forms and experiences. Note well, sometimes people make powerfully prayerful contact with the divine reality behind and within all creation. It responds, and its activity is shortly revealed as necessary improvements within the personal and national life, and people may exclaim, "This is a miracle." But in the long term, the state of the personal or national consciousness will again reassert itself in their experience and will reproduce the same negative effects in health or affairs as they did previously.
So it's saying we all can be inspired or have been inspired by divine intervention, if you want to call it that. I'm calling it our divine Father, Mother Life, or Father, Mother Life. Some people call it Jehovah, Yahweh, Muhammad. I mean, there are many names for God, our Creator. And I have heard these letters. I heard one of of 9 already. I heard them at least 3 times already. And there's a prayer that he gives us to call upon the Father, Mother Life, which is the reason why it's called Father, Mother Life, is that it has both qualities of a nurturing mother and healing mother, and also Father attributes as protecting and providing, etc. Love from mother and father. And it's expressed in these letters. And I'm not going to tell you too much, but right now I just want you to make sure that you understand what he's speaking of. Our Creator, what people call the Most High God, Most High Yahweh, Most High Jehovah, or whatever name your religion calls the Creator of everything. And it makes more sense to me the way he calls it Father, Mother Life, also because that's how we were created, through 2 entities, a mother and father entity coming together and creating like we do on earth. A mother comes together with a father, they come together and they make a child, or 2 children, 3 triplets, quadruplets, however have you. But they came together and created creation. But there was also an issue where we came into physical form because we weren't quite ready for the higher level of being, what have you. I want you to hear the letters more. I don't want to mess up the interpretation or paraphrase it wrong, but pretty much our God is not just one entity, it's 2 entities in one, unified, as like a marriage, just like as mother and father come together and marry, they become one. They have one financial, joint finances. Everything's pretty much together. You're as one, just like you and your family. When you have children, you become one family. So that's how our Creator is being expressed by Christ. But I'm not going to do longer than 20 minutes for this video because it's a lot to soak in. Each one of these letters are about 1.5 hours. And I don't think you guys are ready for all that. Unless you want to go on your own, you could go to YouTube, type in Jesus letters, and you'll see a picture of Jesus like this on the video, and it'll say 1 of 9. And it says 1 of 9, yes. Or maybe it's on this side. Anyway, you'll see it on YouTube, 1 of 9. I'm going to let you hear 1 more minute of it, if you even can't hear it.
Cannot effect permanent changes in your lives unless you change your consciousness. Therefore, people must pray and strive at all times to achieve unconditional love. For in the 20th century, human mental abilities outstripped their spiritual development. Scientists thought they could explain away the origins of creation and ascribe them to accident. As a direct result, people ditched morality and began to give way utterly to self-will. They set in motion new momentum of menace in the world, for they began to create a new form of world ego consciousness, directly in opposition to the nature of the divine, unconditional love. The human consciousness blocked the inflow of the divine. Note well, the ever-increasing lurid imaginings of a few people which would have been contained locally a century ago, now become a contagious mental infection, glorified in literature, films, theater, spreading worldwide, creating a global human consciousness similar to their own, expressed as sexual excesses, violence, and perversions. This mental infection first manifests as egocentric modes of living and the creation of technical devices, which have created serious health disorders, climactic changes, crop failures, environmental deterioration, extinction of living creatures, and wholesale violence and perversions. This mental infection first manifests as egocentric.
So I had the video ran out after 20 minutes, 35 seconds. So we're still here, and I'm gonna continue where we left off. But like I was saying, it's saying that you know, how science act like this was an accident, like the Big Bang Theory was all accidental, and they make people think that that's true, and then people start living on their own egocentric thoughts and feelings and actions. So there's no longer a conscientious spiritual grasp of us being created by something godly or divine, and that we're an accident. We weren't purposely here. We don't have a purpose here. That's what they're trying to say. So it starts to create this bad aura and energy around the world, negative thoughts, and now these thoughts and all this is being created, perpetuated through music, movies, art, etc. Because now people are starting to believe that there is no God, that we're just here by accident because of the Big Bang Theory and all that. So this is what's being discussed right here.
Modes of living and the creation of technical devices, which have created serious health disorders, climactic changes, crop failures, environmental deterioration, extinction of living creatures, and wholesale slaughter of human beings. Mental infection manifests in the human personality as deranged and destructive behavior, drug-taking, abominable cruelty and depravity, gangster operations, and sexual excesses. Thus has a vicious cycle of malignancy and perversions of thought and activities been created by entertainment and media magnates. The purpose? To capture egocentric, public vested interest. Your TV and cinema screen have become the new Bible of human behavior. Personal tragedies unknown to humankind a century ago have become rife, and people live in fear of walking the streets. Households are barricaded behind high walls. Family and social problems are taken into regular public debate, and so the saga of human misery is perpetuated. This is the beast stalking your lands and feeding a miasma of beastliness into innocent minds. It will be perpetuated until my Christ knowledge is acknowledged, accepted, and lived by the majority of people on earth, because this knowledge will show you how to get back on the true path of life in order to start creating the kind of lives you truly desire. Because I am unconditional love, I am speaking the truth which many spiritual minds suspect, but which is rejected by those who are spiritually blind at the moment. These words are not spoken to threaten or punish you, but to alert you to the source of all the unspeakable horrors which daily fill your newspapers and TV screens. It is only my love for all people that forces me to descend through the various levels of consciousness to reach the dimension of...
Hey, Papa. How you doing? Have good sleep? Daddy's doing a video. And we're trying to teach people to love and to be happy. Like you, just like a baby, a happy boy, a happy girl. Okay? This is my boy, guys. This is
human depravity,
a gift
to
from
warn
God.
you of its consequences in your personal life.
Trust me.
Know
I
well,
prayed for him.
important.
I received him.
You wonder from whence comes the HIV virus, which attacks man's precious self-defense system the immune system, and also targets his abilities to procreate. This virus, if left to spread unchecked, not by drugs, by spiritual awareness, will wipe out the unwary. The enlightened will avoid these and other pitfalls of existence. Wake up. Realize your own strong consciousness impulses are life impulses. They are highly creative electromagnetic impulses. When they are of a virulent, violent, aggressive, murderous nature, they emit electrical particles of virulent, violent, aggressive, murderous consciousness, which take form as virulent viruses in the air, spreading from one innocent person to another. What is born and nurtured in the diseased mind eventually takes on form in the physical world. This is not punishment from God, as the churches may teach you. It is a scientific fact of existence. Therefore, it is a matter of extreme urgency for all spiritually minded people to set aside infantile imaginings to perceive clearly the truth of creation and existence.
So, he's saying that consciousness is only our own imaginings, what we hear on TV and music and through certain books or even our own family members or people in school. It all affects how we see the world. Not only that, we're in control of our destiny, if you will. Our own words, our own consciousness, our own actions create our own illnesses, our own problems, our own financial burdens, etc. We create that because we start to believe in the good and bad, and sometimes a lot of us believe more in the good, the bad than the good. At one point in time, that's how I thought. I thought everything was like a lot more bad than there is good out here. But see, my consciousness is starting to change because I've been allowing and believing in what Jesus is saying in these letters. So now I'm starting to see things as there's more good than bad. If anything, we're in good all the time. It's being stated and stressed that God is with us all the time. Our Father, Mother, Life, our Creator is here in me, in my Son, in you, in this whole world, in the plants we see, the animals, the birds, lions, tigers, bears. Like, the Father's working through all of us at all times. There's never a break. That's right. Say, yeah, God's always with us. Yep. But like I said, I'm going to try to avoid using the word God, and I'm going to use the name that Christ told me in these letters, which is Father, Mother, Life. And when you pray to them, when you pray to Father, Mother, Life, you're more likely to receive the blessings because you're actually using the correct terms. See, bad terms result into bad imaginings, illusions. Sometimes you're, worshiping a God that don't exist sometimes. But we'll go from there. I'll let you keep hearing, and like I said, it's going to be like 10 more minutes to this video, and you can always go and listen to the letters on YouTube. Jesus Letters, or Christ's Letters really is what it's called. You can search Christ's Letters, and it'll come up, and there's one of 9. There's also, if you subscribe to the Christ Letters, there's also other affirmations and from the letters that they allow you to watch, and then other people that believe in the Christ Letters and the Christ consciousness. But I'm not calling this Christ consciousness because there are other religions that only believe in the Christ consciousness, but they don't believe in the Father, Mother, Life consciousness, that we all, our whole purpose in life is to gain and express the love of Father, Mother, Life.
Message to all churches. I, the Christ, have come expressly to tell you the truth about the origins of the human personality. I will explain exactly why and how mankind has been given a natural inbuilt propensity for self-will and a controlling desire for self-gratification and self-defense. This is not a sin, but a part of the natural creative processes. There is no punishment from on high. Men through the willful and harmful